Now, at a time when Nigeria is striving to stabilize its economy, restore investor confidence, and support local manufacturing, the Nigerian Senate proposed amendment to the Customs Exercise and Tariff Amendment Bill is attracting growing scrutiny. The bill seeks to replace the current fixed excise duty on sugar-sweetened beverages with a retail price-based levy. An approach critiques one could raise costs across the beverage value chain, weaken formal sector activity, and introduce fiscal uncertainty without clear Nigeria-specific evidence of public health gains. Joining us in the studio is political analyst Jonah Iboma. He will analyze why the Senate's proposed CETA amendment may be counterproductive, its potential impact on jobs, investment, FAC revenues, and why coordinated, evidence-driven tax reforms are critical at this delicate stage of Nigeria's economic recovery. Welcome to Newsday, and thank you for staying with us.
Thank you very much.
Now, one of the arguments is that this is a time where the country is still trying to find economic stability. Why is the CETA policy being fast-tracked at this, in this season? And also, some have also argued that instead of placing or increasing the tax on sugar-sweetened beverages, why shouldn't this tax be increased on luxury and, alcoholic beverages, which of course have more reasons when you talk about health concerns, because they have said they're increasing the tax on sweetened beverages because of the health concerns and the problem of diabetes and all of the issues that come with sugar intake. So I'd like you to, put all of this together for us and help us better understand the situation.
Okay, thank you. The issue of taxation of sweetened beverages actually started around 2022 when the federal government actually imposed a 10%, a 10 naira actually tariff.
Excise duty.
Yeah, excise duty on sugar sweetened beverages. A lot of experts actually said, okay, this was good to promote the health sector, to help reduce NCDs as non-communicable disease and so on. But barely 3 years down the line, international advocates, so-called health advocates, they are beginning to push for an increase of this SSB tax. And we feel that really this is not good for our economy. It's not even good for, it's not even going to accomplish, there's no proof that it will accomplish the purpose for which it is being said, it has been designed. For instance, there are those who are advocating for this are saying that, look, NCDs, non-communicable disease, will necessarily come down because of the price of sweetened sugar beverages will probably go up. Today, does Nigeria actually have a sugar problem? That is a question that should be asked. That is actually based and that non-communicable diseases are actually being pushed by large consumption of sugar in Nigeria. Evidence doesn't point in that direction. So there's need, therefore, for us to be careful in pushing this narrative. Yeah, it's good that, yes, that we are saying that the country should be more healthy, but there is a need to balance these issues. Because at the end of the day, if you push the taxation too high, what could happen? Nature abhors a vacuum. The benefit, the so-called health benefits actually might be lost. So that is why we are saying that, look, there's need to look at an evidence-based approach in trying to push this issue of increase in the excise of SSB, sugar tax. And I think that is going to help us the more, rather than just emotions. A lot of people that are arguing, they're just arguing these things based on emotion, not on evidence. Today, if you ask health professionals, they will tell you that Nigeria actually does not have a sugar problem because we are among the lowest countries globally when it comes to average sugar consumption. So if we don't have that, why are we pushing the narrative as if, look, there's a sugar problem? In fact, according to World Health Organization recommendation, Nigeria is actually not consuming up to what is even recommended. So we need to look at these issues actually more from a holistic evidence-based approach that will benefit those who are already contributing significantly to the economy and also benefit us in terms of health.
Yeah, still talking about being cautious, as you alluded to, and of course those who are contributing to the economy. So how might sudden excise hikes affect investor confidence, especially when it comes to the country's fiscal stability, you think?
Okay, one thing that is clear is that if a policy on sugar taxation, Swedish sugar taxation, was introduced just barely 3 years ago, and we know that Nigerians, in terms of disposable income, is really not what it should be. The implication is that when you raise up and when you raise the SSB tax, a lot of the disposable income of Nigerians now will not even, a lot of Nigerians may not be able to therefore afford these drinks. And that means that capacity utilization, will fall, because demand then will be stifled. Demand will be affected. Not only that, from what the advocates, the proponents of this SSB tax increase, from what they are pushing, we could have about 39% increase in the price. So that means now that, look, people now will begin to think twice. And before they buy even, a small PET bottle of soft drink.
Yeah.
And you know, what will happen is that SMEs now are going to be affected. Not only that, capacity utilization now in the industries, the bottling companies now, it will fall. And in that value chain, you are now therefore saying that, look, the even National Sugar Master Plan now, which the federal government is pushing, to grow the sugar industry in Nigeria now, you are going to find out that this policy will be working against it. So I think that it's something that needs to be looked at from an evidence-based approach rather than just emotions.
Well, as you have said, there's really no research to back up this policy. It looks like we are doing the copy and paste, system, taking what other countries are doing, importing it here, even though we don't have the same problems that those countries have. Now, there are some risks involved, job losses, especially for those in that industry. There's also the risk of going for alternatives, which might even be counterproductive. Because true. Nigerians will now have to go for, less expensive sugary drinks.
Yes, that you can't actually ascertain.
That are not even NAFDAC endorsed, creating more health risk issues. Talk to us more about that.
Definitely, that is what we have seen. That, we say nature abhors a vacuum or abhors vacuum. And definitely, if you push the cost of Swedish sugar beverages, soft drinks to almost the same price as alcoholic drinks, what will happen now is that a lot of people now, they can't afford, and some people will definitely come in and begin to fill the space. And once they come in to fill the space, what that will happen is, what that will lead to is that the health benefits, the so-called health benefits that we're driving at now, would be lost. And this is why we need to actually be very careful. Even the little research that has been done has pointed to the fact that the largest consumers of so-called of sugar beverages are actually the young people who are very active and born of these drinks. And the people that suffer from non-communicable disease are in their 50s. And those people really, they don't really consume sugar-sweetened beverages. So that means that, look, we need to look at the issues. What are the underlying factors that are making people to have things such as obesity, things such as hypertension, We need to look at that. That may not necessarily be what from sugar, because the excessive sugar consumption, because everybody still needs sugar at the end of the day to actually survive. So Nigeria therefore needs to be very careful, not just to say, it's been done in Europe. In fact, America consumes about 5 times, the average American consumes about 5 times the sugar we consume here in Nigeria. So Nigeria really does not have a sugar problem. So, and it has been found out that people have so-called NCDs, non-communicable diseases. Many of them are actually, they are genetical issues. They are predisposed to them. So those are the issues that we need to actually address. So the people who are pushing for this need to begin to promote healthier lifestyles for Nigerians and so on.
All right. Do you think the key issue here is the timing and design of the tax rather than the taxation itself?
Yes, I think the timing is probably the issue more, because if you look at the timing and also the approach. When you look at the Section 13, subsection 1 of the CETA, that is Customs, Excise and Tariff Amendment Act, you will find out that it is actually the president that has the right to determine tariffs and levies. Now, But the National Assembly is pushing this.
Okay.
Okay, so that means that why are you pushing this? Not only that, the federal government, okay, through the Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee led by Taiwo Oyedele has already worked on these issues. So why is the National Assembly or some groups of people pushing the National Assembly to push, okay, for another legislation, whereas this had already been handled by the president? So we feel that that is creating a timing issue. Not only that, it's probably creating policy incoherence. It's even making the federal government to look like a disjointed setup, because it appears that the legislature is pushing in one direction, the executive is pushing in another direction. And we felt that this is not right. So we need to actually, would like to recommend that it's better that, look, the Tax Reform Committee is allowed to do its work rather than the Senate pushing for an amendment when the work actually has been done by the Reform Committee.
Also, when you look at this, you'd find out that those who would be hard hit would be the low-income families, because these are the ones, they don't even have the money to consume this luxury and alcoholic beverages. They go for the sugar-sweetened drinks and those sachetized, beverages. What do you think would be the impact, especially when we're looking at, the economic impact of all of these on consumers that are still struggling to make ends meet? What do you think would be the impact on them?
Number one, there's going to be inflation. And that means not that, look, you are going to have a situation whereby the affordability of these products now becomes an issue for people, especially even in the rural areas where disposable incomes of people are low. So inflation will not trickle down even the entire economy. And once inflation comes in, what you have done is that you are making life difficult for people. And you must know that already the current government, it's feeling the impact of complaints, general complaints that, look, cost of goods are so high, affordability, cost of living in Nigeria is so high. So I think that this is going to even make life even more difficult for people. And not only that, the little luxury that Nigerian people simply think they have, they may think that the government is even pushing them away from it. So now you are saying that it's so difficult that we should begin to buy a bottle of soft drink a certain amount. Can't we enjoy something good in our country? So at the end of the day, I think the timing is completely wrong. Not only that, we should be looking at, the fact that many businesses, they depend on these beverages actually to survive.
Indeed. And on that note, Mr. Jonah Iboma, political analyst, we've been talking about the excise bill in Nigeria. I'd like to thank you very much for your thoughts on those issues. Good to have you with us.